Start with we really finished the Amid. We really finished the Amid, but let's do a quick chazara of the three shitais, Rabba, Rav Zera, and Rava, because we're actually going to have to know those three shitais as we turn over the Amid to Amid Beis. So let's pick it up from Beis Amid Aleph, Minahani Mili. We'll go all the way up. We'll run through one more time Rabba, Rav Zera, and Rava, the three Mekairais, Ilman Yedu, Tzel, and Arai. And then we'll go on to Amid Beis, and hopefully things will be smoother. Mina Hani Mili, says the Gemara. I'm gonna go a little bit faster. If it's too fast, he'll stop me. But I think at this point it shouldn't be. Amar Rabba Damar Cross says the pasuk Manidu Darasechem that you should know Yedu Kiva Sukkos Shavti Espnei Yisrael that Klal Yisrael dwelt in Sukkos. Ades your mom until 20 amos and you Shadar B'Sukkah. You know you're in a Sukkah. Lamala Me'aser Mama more than 20. Ein Adam Yedei Shadar B'Sukkah. Why not? Mishav Lo Shaltu By Eina. Your eye is not shaylit. Your eye does not rule. Your eye does not see. Above 20 amos, we know that the sukkah is all about the schach. Shitas Rabba, Yediyah, know you're in the sukkah. Rav Zera Amar Me'acha, second pasuk, sukkah tila tell you, your sukkah should be for shade. That's your mama, Adam Yoshev Itzel sukkah. If it's under 20 amos, you're sitting in the shade of the sukkah. Above 20 amos, Adam Yoshev Itzel sukkah, you're not sitting in the shade of the sukkah, but rather, Elab Itzel Defanis, the shade of the walls. Amrle Abaya, we have a minor interjection of Abaya that asks, it's all about the shade of the schach. If you make your sukkah in the valley in Asher's Kenayim, you make your sukkah amongst the mountains, are you going to tell me it's not a sukkah? Amrle, so we respond, no. Some dalashros kenayim, you can sell sukkah. If you get rid of the mountains, there is shade, meaning the sukkah ostensibly, inherently, I'm not sure which word works better, I think inherently, I'm not sure. I use ostensibly wrong all the time, but it sounds very good. Check with it. Well, then forget about it. We'll get a third word. Ikasel sukkah.
You'll never be able to repeat.
Hacha dal defanois. Leka tzel sukkah. Virava, shita number 3. Amar me'achas sukkah teisha shivas yamim. Amra Taira says the Taira kol shivas yamim same diras keva. Leave your house, your diras keva, your permanent dwelling, v'shev diras arai. As your mom until 20 amos, oiseh dirasai, diras arai. Until 20 amos, it's normal for it to be temporary. Lamal me'aser mama, inon mos diras arai. It's not temporary. Ella diras keva. Amr le Abaye asks Abaye again, another minor interjection on Rava. Are you going to tell me if you make the walls of iron, are you going to tell me it's not a good sukkah because it's keva? Amr le hachi kamin alcha. This is what I'll tell you. Until 20 that it's normal to be arai. Therefore, if you make a permanent more than 20, it's inherently, it's always keva. Nami loy nafik. Rabba, you have to know that you're in the sukkah. Rav Zera, you have to be in the shade of the sukkah. Rava, it has to be a temporary dwelling. Okay? Those three are a big three names. Says the Gemara. Why does A not hold of B, not hold of C? Why does Rabba not hold of Rava and Rav Zera? Why does Rava and Rav Zera not hold of Rabba? Why does Rav Zera not hold of Rabba and Rava? Those were all our permutations. Says the Gemara, top line, Beis and Beis. Kulu ki Rabba lo yamri. Not everyone goes with the pasuk of Rabba. What's the pasuk of Rabba? Yediyah, to know you're in the sukkah. Leman yedu dairasechem. Kulu ki Rabba lo yamri. Why not? Because ahu yediyah l'dairais. Because they argue that the pasuk of Rabba is telling us for future generations to know that Klal Yisrael dwelt in a sukkah. It's part of the story. But we can't necessarily learn from there a din about the sukkah. Kulu kirab lo yamre hu yediyah l'dairasi. Kirav Zera nami lo yamri. They don't all hold of Rav Zera. What was Rav Zera? Rav Zera was the second pasuk, which was what? Sail, shade. Why don't they hold of Rav Zera's pasuk? Hahu limoisa Mashiach. We made mention when we read Rav Zera's pasuk that it's a pasuk in Navi, it's a pasuk in Yeshaya, and that's teaching us that Yimaisa Mashiach La'asir Lavai. It's teaching us that we're going to dwell in the shade, and it's going to be gishmak, and it's going to be pleasurable, etc., etc. But it's not teaching us about the mitzvah of Sukkah. Dirsiv. V'Rav Zira. So pauses the Gemara and says, 1 second. We just said that Rav Zira's pasuk is talking about Yimaisa Mashiach. So what does Rav Zira do? How does Rav Zira himself learn from that pasuk? V'Rav Zira. What does he say? Im kain lema kara, the pasuk should say v'chuppah tia litzel yomam. The pasuk should say that it should be a chuppah, literally means a covering. If it was just telling us a story that Yimaisa Mashiach Lasid Lavoi, we're going to sit in a sukkah, we're going to sit in a beautiful hut, etc. So then the pasuk should have just said v'chuppah, my v'sukkah. Why the choice words? Why did the Navi Yeshaya use the word sukkah? My v'sukkah tiyalitzel yoimam. Says Rav Zira Shmas Mina Tarti. Rav Zira says from the word itself of the pasuk, Rabbi Maitelka, Erev Tov. Shtickle dark over there. Okay, you got your camera straight. Okay, you're making me a little bit dizzy.
I'm walking into the store right now, so don't miss the first time.
Givaldi. Okay, we'll catch you up when you get inside. Says the Gemara, why does the pasuk say v'chuppah? Says Rav Zira Shmas Mina Tarti. And Kirava Nami Lo Yamri. Erev Tov. Why did they not hold of Rava? What was Rava, the third pasuk of Diras, Arai, and Keva? Mishum Kushya de Abaye. So let's just review outside what we just said in Beis and Beis. We had 3 shitas. Anytime you have 3 shitas, you always want to know why does each shita not hold of the other. So the Gemara explains that each of the 3 shitas, Rabba, Rav Zira, and Rava, each one has a flaw, which is why the other shitas don't hold of them. Rabba has a flaw that what? It's telling us Yidiyah L'Dairais, just telling us the story for future generations. Rav Zira has a flaw that what? It's telling us about Yimaisa Mashiach. Parenthetically, so how does Rav Zira learn out from that pasuk? Shmas Minatarti, the word Sukkah, very good. Why does it say Sukkah, not v'chuppah? And number 3, Rava, they didn't like Rava. Why? Kushas de Abaya, Abaya's kasha about making the Sukkah out of iron. Period. So,
what about the Yadil Adair?
Oh, very good. Why does the Gemara ask in Rabbah? Very good question. I don't know. It always bothered me. I don't have a good answer. I'll tell you the answer I made up, but I don't know. As I was waiting for us, I was saying, should I speak out the question? Well, someone actually had it. Perfect. I was just nervous to confuse you, but very good. Everyone understands this kasha. When it came to Rav Zira, we said Yediyah L'Dairis. When it comes to Rava, Kusha D'Abaya, the Gemara itself answered the Kusha D'Abaya. When it came to Rabba, the Gemara just said, we don't like Rabba because Yediyah L'Dairis, and we don't say anything else. I think the answer is that, I don't know. Why?
Rabba, we don't say.
Yeah, but in Rabba we don't say anything else. Right. You know, why should I make up a bad answer? Let's leave it as a good kasha. Good kasha is better than that.
The mitzvah of Yedil Adair.
Maybe, you're saying maybe there's Rabbas both.
Maybe there should be.
Yeah, no, it's true. But then the Gemara should find a word like it did by Rav Zira. It said you could learn the Moshe Shiach, but because you use the word Sukkah, you could use both. By Rabba, it just like doesn't say anything. It should teach us something. It's
Maybe they didn't have.
It's a better question. I missed the Rashi. Rashi. 1 second. Rashi Laman. Interesting. Okay. Rashi asks your kasha. I'm embarrassed. I can't say how many times I learned this Gemara and I didn't see this Rashi. Okay. Listen, this is why you learn in life. Rashi and Amid Aleph. Rashi Laman Yedu. When Rabbah quoted the pasuk, Laman Yedu, that you should know you're living in a sukkah. Look at Rashi. Rashi is about 15 lines from the wide lines. Laman Yedu. The first one line is Nafa Shemili. Says Rashi, Asay sukkah, create a sukkah, sheyeshivasa, that you're sitting in it is nikeres lecha, should be recognizable for you. Dersev, Yedu, ki basukah seishafti, tzivisi leishev. you're commanded to sit in it, and you have to know that you're sitting in it, right? That was Rabba's pasuk. You have to know you're in a sukkah more than 20. You don't know. Hachi darishle. Now Rashi asks the kasha. Va'afal gav. Anytime Rashi or Risha says va'afal gav, means he's coming to answer a question. Va'afal gav de'ein mikra yoitzi midei pshutai. That what? The heck if anane kavod. Asks Rashi, what do you mean? The pasuk's just telling us that Klal Yisrael were surrounded by the Anani HaKavod. Why are you telling me that it means to learn out a din of Sukkah, which is really what? The Gemara's kasha on the top of Amud Beis, like you just said. Says Rashi, Miu darshin alei drasha. Like you said. Rashi doesn't say how we know that, but Rashi says, L'maisa Rabbah has a drasha that he darshins from it also. So, again, how does Rabbah know? I don't really know. They quote other Rishayim here that say Lamaisa, you can learn two things from one pasuk. But Rashi asks the kasha, and Rashi says that you can learn out both. Beautiful. Okay, now we go part 2. So we know what each shita doesn't hold of the other. Rabbah, Rav Zira, and Rava. The Gemara now is going to quote numerous Amarayim, and we're going to try to figure out who do they go like? Meaning, let's just speak it out outside, so it's nice and simple. The Mishnah said a sukkah has to be 20 amos or less. We have 3 reasons for that right now. Again, Rabbah, Rav Zira, and Rava. You have to know you're in a sukkah, you have to be in the shade of the sukkah, and you have to be in a dir azarai. 3 reasons. Now we're going to quote different statements by Amarayim, and we're going to say, this Amayra, is he learning the reasoning of 20 amos like Rabbah, like Rav Zira, or like Rava? Let's see it inside, and hopefully it'll become very clear. Kiman Ozla, according to whom does it go like? Ha de Amar Rav Yeshaya Amar Rav. That which Rav Yeshaya Amar Rav said. What did Rav Yeshaya Amar Rav say? Machlaikas, the machlaikas is, what machlaikas? The machlaikas Rav Yehuda and the Chachamim, whether a sukkah has to be 20 amos, is B'she'in defanois magiois l'schach. The machlokes is when the walls, defanos, magiyos, reach l'schach. B'she'in defanos magiyos l'schach. The machlokes is only when the walls do not reach the schach. Aval, however, defanos magiyos l'schach, if the walls reach the schach, says Rav Yeshaya Marav, then afilu lemayla me'esrim ama kshira. If the walls reach the schach, then even if it's above 20 amos, it is kosher. Which opinion, which way of explaining the machlokes Rav Zira, Rav Yehuda, and the Chachamim, why a sukkah needs to be 20 amos, does this fit with? Oh, very good. The Gemara is going to speak it out, and it'll be very easy. Kiman ki Rabbah. What sheikh is Rabbah? Because Rabbah said to Amar, this is Mamish Chanukah raid. You'll see in a second. Rabbah says, Rabbah said, why are you not allowed to be in a sukkah more than 20 amos? Because your eye doesn't see so tall. But if the wall goes all the way up, what does your eye naturally do? Your eye follows the wall all the way up. So when Rav Yeshaya Marav explained that the machlokes in the Mishnah is only if the walls do not reach the schach, but if they reach, everyone holds it works. Which explanation is it going with? With Rabbah. Let's just speak out the other ways. You'll see it clearly. According to Rav Zera, it all has to do with the shade of the sukkah. That above 20, there's no shade. Does that have anything to do if the walls reach the schach or not? That makes no sense.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, because of the sun coming in.
Oh, but that would only be for the very, very top. Again, it's all about where the schach is.
Still wouldn't reach.
Right.
Again, it's the schach. So if the schach are above the 20, I don't care where the walls are according to Rav Zera.
No, meaning I'm sitting in a sunny room. There's no walls around me.
Yeah.
And therefore I'm not really.
No, but
The walls are around you.
You have
They're
walls
not, 'cause
apart,
they're
halfway, let's say.
all the way up.
Walls halfway. Ain't no magiyas schach, and the top is open. But the schach are still above 20. So if the schach are above 20, it's going to make no difference with regard to me getting shade from. So according to Rav Zera, it would make no difference. Can't be there. According to Rava, it's all about what? Is it a rai? Is it keva? Again, if the wall reaches the roof or not, does that make this structure more temporary or more permanent? No. Maybe you'll say it's architecturally more difficult and therefore it's more, I don't know. But it doesn't. The only one that makes sense is Rabbah, because Rabbah says it's all about knowing you're in the sukkah. And why I say this is Chanukah, because in the world of Chanukah, we all know this halacha, you can't light a menorah very high up. So if anyone ever lived in a building, I don't know if you did, but if you live in an apartment building and you live above 20 amos, what in the world do you do? Where do you put your menorah? Big machlekes, big fight, Eretz Yisrael, America, etc. But one of the hetirim is that, what do you mean? Your eye follows up the building even more than 20 amos. This exact svara. Beautiful. Says the Gemara. We'll do one more, and then we'll pause. Kaman Ozla. Ha de Amar Rav Huna Marav. Whom does the following statement of Rav Huna Marav go like? Machlekes, that the machlekes in the Mishnah is b'she'ein ba'ela arba amois al arba amois. The machlekes of a sukkah needing to be not no more than 20 amois is only if it is not 4 amois by 4 amois wide. Aval, however, yesh ba yoiser.
The first command Oslo was going on the machlekes about the height.
Same machlekes again. Same machlekes. Kamanos the Admir Huna Rav that the machlekes of being 20 amos has to be under 20 amos. Says Rav Huna Marav is only b'she'ein ba'ela if the sukkah's width, length, area is not 4 by 4. Then for some reason I feel what sheikhs? Because the sukkah is bigger, therefore it could be taller. Oh, very nice. Because in the world, and I think when we read the shade the first time, I think it was actually Moshe that mentioned, and he said, "What do you mean? If depends on the angle and depends on how big it is." Yeah, and that's exactly what's going on over here. Says the Gemara, if you have a massive sukkah, even if your schach are very, very tall, what's going to happen? You're going to get shade. Why? Just because you're going to get shade if it's a big sukkah. Kiman, Kirav Zera, Ta'amar Mishum Selu, it's all about the shade. V'kivan Diravicha, because it's wide. Ika Sel Sukkah. There is the shade of the sukkah. We really should stop here, but because it's Wednesday and we're not going to get together until Monday, where we're going to go another 3 lines, so that hopefully over Shabbos we'll have an extra 3 lines to Chazer, even if we don't have time, even if people have to run out at 9 o'clock tonight. But I think it's Kedai. Kaman, one more. There's 3 Kaman Oslas. So we did 2. The first one was what? Rabbah, which was if the walls reach the schach. The second one is Rav Zera, which is if it's bigger than 4 by 4. The third one, Kaman Oslas, Damar Rav Chanan bar Rabba Marav, Machloikes b'she'eina machzekes, ela k'dei roishe v'ruba v'shalchani. The machlekes in the Mishnah is only if it could only hold roishe, ruba, and shalchani, which in halacha terms we'll see that means 7 by 7 tfachim, the smallest dimension of a sukkah, teeny little sukkah. Aval machzekes yoiser mechdei roishe v'ruba v'shalchani. But if it could hold more than that, afilu l'mal mi'eser ma'am k'sheira. Who does that go like? Says the Gemara, Keman deloy kechad. If it's with no one. Why does it fit with no one? Let's speak it out. Because if it's just bigger than 7 by 7, it's still very small. So are you going to get shade? No. Is it going to be more permanent, more temporary? No. And is it going to be that you know you're nesiker? No. Keman deloy kechad shkoyach chavra. Let's try.